Hello, dear listeners. Some portions of this episode are a little rough around the edges, and we apologize if that affects your listening experience. If you happen to miss any details, we have episode recaps available on our website. Content warnings for this episode include standard fantasy violence, gunshots, fireworks, and explosions, references to warlock patron trauma, stalking, monsters, death, dissection of a creature, flirting, romance, and references to sexual intimacy. Discretion is advised. Remember to take care of yourself and step away if needed. Now, without further ado, we welcome you to Capricious Provenance.
Episode 4, A Watchful Wilderness. 8 of Swords. 8 swords surround you in a prison, and you feel powerless, helpless, and hopeless. Trapped by your own fear, you have relinquished your power in the journey of your own life, repeating harmful cycles that may keep you from recognizing all of the possibilities. The path out may not be easy, but we are our own worst enemies. Take off the blindfold. See beyond your own self-imposed limitations. Last we left our heroes, they spent some time bonding with one another over the campfire and reflecting on their past, present, and potential futures. After a few days of peaceful travel, however, they managed to gather the attention of a behir. We return to our story in the middle of the action of a cold, dark evening in the Moror Holds. Snowy, you're up first.
I guess I'm going to do the thing I do at every start of the fight. I'm gonna use my bonus action to put Hunter's Mark on it, and I'm going to attack it with my bow.
That would be a 23. 18 damage.
Cool, that was your first attack. Go for your other ones.
That would be 14.
That does not hit.
Last time. 17.
Yes, 17 hits. Roll damage.
13.
Yeah, you're able to get a couple of arrows into this thing while it continues to roar and electricity is crackling out of its mouth. You already did your bonus action. Are you moving at all?
Yeah, Snowy's gonna move further away from the rock wall the behir is standing on.
Finch's turn. This thing is right behind you.
Finch is gonna back the fuck up, keeping her eye glued on this thing, saying, "Ah, shit," and cast Blur. Finch's image starts to unfocus and smudge a bit at the edges.
Alrighty, Podloach's turn. Podloach is going to see you do that, Finch, and he's going to nod. And also cast Blur. Now it's the monster's turn. It's going to move down the cliff, and it's going to sort of crawl down halfway. Sylvanus, right behind you. You can feel this thing opening its jaws. And you go to move out of the way, expecting a bite. But you hear this charge of electricity, and a massive bolt of lightning shoots out of its mouth. And I need Sylvanus, Calais, and Finch to all make dexterity saving throws.
I rolled a 21.
I rolled an 18.
I rolled a 5.
Ooh. Calais and Finch, you will take 32 points of lightning damage.
No fucking way.
Sylvanus, you take 64 points of lightning.
You all see Sylvanus hit the snow because he is unconscious.
You get the full force of this massive lightning charge from this creature's mouth. And you just black out. It is now Zaren's turn. And Zaren is going to go, shit, fuck, what the hell? And he is going to climb up this cliff over here. And you see what is normally kind of hidden underneath his clothes and hair you see this dragon mark light up along his arm. He puts out both of his hands and says, "Fuck off!" And he expels this huge burst of wind from his hands. And as these high-powered gusts of wind hit the creature, you see all the snow being blown away, and you can see that the behir is starting to lose a sense of where it's at. We'll see what happens on its turn, but for now, it's Flintfoot McGuffrey's turn. And he's going to go, I thought the mating season was over! And he's going to hop down from the snowbank that he was on and duck behind a bush, pull out his crossbow, and fire at the behir. It definitely hits, and it's going to be an amount of damage. And that's going to be his turn. Sylvanus, I need you to make a death saving throw.
Well, that's a 4.
Alright, Sylvanus. You fail 1 death save. Calais, it's your turn. You just got blasted by lightning, and as your vision comes back to you from being pure white pain for a moment, you see Sylvanus, face down in the snow, and this creature looming over him.
Yeah, Calais is just going to run over to Sylvanus, not caring that the creature is there, and he will sort of collapse into the snow. Still in pain from the lightning, and he'll be at Sylvanus' side going, stay with us. And he'll cast Cure Wounds at the 2nd level. That's going to be a total of 29 points of healing, with my Disciple of Life stacking on top of the bonus I get from using my Strategist pendant.
So Sylvanus, you wake up in the snow with this thing still looming over you, but Calais is close to you at least.
Fuck. And Sylvanus just sits up abruptly in the snow.
Sylvanus, as you're getting up, you hear faint gasps and applause.
Of course the stage got a kick out of that. Yeah, I almost died. So cool. Great.
We're back at the top of the round. Snowy. This creature can shoot lightning out of his mouth.
Well, didn't like that. I think Snowy will try to get the attention of the behir away from Sylvanus and Calais. So she's going to cast a Ray of Frost, and that would be 18.
That hits. Roll damage.
That would be a 4. I think that's all I'm gonna do. It's always good way over there.
Finch, you just got lightning bolted.
Yeah, Finch's body twitches a little as he takes in this scene. She stumbles back and says, "Fuck," as they run a bit further away from the behir to get a safe shot. What if I told you I got a nat 20?
Give me your max damage, extra damage die, and extra sneak attack die.
That's going to be 40 points of damage. You can see Finch's arm is still twitching from the electricity running through his body as she times a quick second between convulsions to take her shot.
You got the behir good. You hear it cry out in pain, and it shakes its head as it's thoroughly distracted for the moment. Remember, it's still dealing with the gust of wind that Zarin threw at it, and it's starting to lose its footing. You have a bonus action, if you want to do anything else with that.
I bonus action whistle, and Finch tries to make themselves a target as usual.
Alright, it's Podloge's turn. And he is going to take out his little short bow, and unfortunately doesn't hit. But he did try. It's the behir's turn. It has to make a saving throw. Well, it looks like it's slipping in the strong winds, but it's got 12 legs and is standing its ground. It's also not loving where it is, so it's going to climb down and stomp over to where you are, Finch. Calais and Sylvanus. You see the behir just climb over you both as it angrily moves towards Finch, and it's going to make a bite attack.
Well, thank the Traveler for Blur, because that means you're rolling at disadvantage.
My attack is going to miss, but it's also going to attempt to wrap itself around you and try to constrict you. It's still at disadvantage, but does a 21 hit.
Not with my shield, it doesn't.
It goes to try to constrict you, but before it can even reach you, you lift up that shield scroll, and the scroll wraps itself around your entire body in a protective covering, and it pushes outwards. The behir squeals and jumps back. Doesn't look happy. It's now Zaren's turn, and seeing that it didn't work, he's going to stop the wind and go, okay, fuck, damn it. And he's going to climb down this hill, and he knows that y'all got busted, so he's going to try to use an action to dash and get in front of you guys, as you see him pull out his short sword and go, this is stupid, this is dumb, this is really dumb. Flintfoot is going to back up even more, just pull out his crossbow so he can fire it off again. It definitely hits, and it does pretty decent damage. Sylvanus, you are prone, but alive. Calais and Zaren are standing protectively over you, and the creature is no longer above you.
Okay. I will stand up. I'll shake the snow out of my antlers, and I'm gonna fuck this thing with an Eldritch Blast, because that was really rude and hurtful, and I'm neurodivergent and a tiefling, and you can't hurt me like that. 19 for the first one, 24 for the second one. That's gonna be 23 points of damage total.
Sylvanus, you can see that the behir is trying to wrap itself around Finch, and as soon as you hit it with this Eldritch Blast, the behir stops and swivels its head to look directly at you.
Oh, fuck! Oh, don't come over here! I'm gonna use the remainder of my movement to move in the opposite direction as fast as I can.
Alright, Calais. Sylvanus seems to be doing well?
Okay, so Calais is going to move forward and acknowledge Zaren a little bit with a small nod. And they're going to conjure their spirit guardians. And what this looks like is a bunch of angelic spectral spirits beginning to pour out the center of Calais' chest. They begin to fly around Calais in like the 15-foot radius. And you can see the eyes and wings and limbs of these beings glow as a faint, distant sort of chorus echoes and creates an area of effect that the behir will have to make a wisdom saving throw for on its turn. Or if it enters the radius of this angelic aura at any point. And that's going to be my turn.
Okay, we're at the top of the round. And Snowy, before you make your move, your ear twitches, and you hear snow crunching, something scraping against stone behind you. You turn around just in time to see the first behir you encountered earlier has returned. And you feel the adrenaline and the panic course through your body. But this thing immediately lunges past you to attack Flintfoot. And it grabs onto him with 4 of its arms, and you can hear Flintfoot cry out, no! As the behir begins to wrap around him. And then this thing is going to make a bite attack at advantage because McGuffrey is grappled. Definitely hits. That's going to be a lot of damage. It doesn't kill him. However, Snowy, you just watch in horror as this thing wraps itself around your guide and swallows him whole.
No!
So Snowy, it's your turn. And this thing is right behind you.
Snowy does scream in absolute horror. No words, just screaming. And she's immediately going to try and move away and book it in the opposite direction.
It's going to get an attack of opportunity against you.
Yep, that is okay.
Alright, luckily for you, it doesn't hit.
Oh my gosh, my giblets. So I want to add that as they're running away. She is screaming, McGuffrey! McGuffrey was eaten! He's gone! He's gone in his mouth! And they're going to actually move their hunter's mark onto this same behir and shoot their bow and arrow. And that's going to be 24 to hit. And it's going to be 10 damage.
Okay, so, Finch, you're dealing with this behir trying to eat you, and you hear Snowy screaming in the distance that something ate your guide. and you look up to see that there is another behir. What are you up to?
Finch is bloody and beaten, but still composed. Like they have everything under control. She looks back and forth between the two behirs in a tense and quiet standoff. Oh, but fuck this. And bonus action disengage. And for their next trick, you'll see Finch run between these two behirs and chugging a potion.
Finch, as you're running, you catch Zaren's face, and Zaren is just... What the fuck is happening? Now it's Podloach's turn. He's going to see that there's another one. Hop down from his tiny little ledge here and start firing at the new one. And that's still not going to hit. He's trying his best. Now it's Zaren's turn. And the behir that Sylvanus hit with an Eldritch Blast turns around to face Sylvanus. And is now facing Zaren and Calais in that direction. And Zaren looks over to you, Calais, and goes, fuck. Oh, God. Are we killing this thing? Damn it.
Does it look like we have much of a choice?
Guess not. And Zaren is going to hold an action to attack if it gets any closer to him within range. It is now behir number 2's turn. And it moves closer to Zaren and Calais. Zaren will get an attack. That does hit. Zaren holds out his sword and slices through the side of the behir as it moves past him. The behir doesn't stop because it's kind of on a mission. And you can see that this behir is starting to hurt pretty badly as it enters the range of Calais' spirit guardians and makes a wisdom save that it definitely failed.
Alright, that's gonna be 21 points of damage.
Yep. Behir number 2 is not looking too hot, as it is also getting attacked in all directions by the spirit guardians. And Calais, it is going to make a bite attack against you because you're kind of in the way. And that's going to be a 21 to hit.
Yep, that hits. It's gonna guzzle me, isn't it?
That's going to be 30 points of piercing damage.
Fuck.
As it snaps at you.
Calais down to zero hit points.
Unfortunately, Calais, the behir just closes its jaws onto you. And you feel the teeth pierce through your body. And you black out as it tosses you to the side to try to get to Sylvanus. The spirit guardians are now also down as a consequence. And Sylvanus, this next constricting attack is towards you. It rolled really bad, so it does not hit you. You're able to get out of the way quick enough. And, well, Sylvanus, it is your turn. You managed to slip out of its grasp, but Calais did not.
I can see that. I'm going to use my bonus action to run to Calais and give him one of my 4 healing potions. 9 points of healing.
All right, Calais, you cough and sputter as you're awake.
Oh my god. Oh, I hate this.
Hi, welcome back. And Sylvanus is gonna reach above you and just blast this thing with an Eldritch Blast. I rolled a 24 and natural fucking 20!
After administering this potion to Calais, you simply raise your hands up, and the golden eldritch beams leave your hands and shoot through the behir's torso into the bottom of its throat and out its back. And you watch as this thing cries out and falls limply in the snow.
Oh, cool.
Calais is like still kind of dizzy and he blinks a few times and he goes, "Oh, wow, Sylvanus, hell of a trick you got there."
So, you both also notice that Flintfoot has disappeared. You don't know where he is. Calais, it's your turn.
Okay. Calais is going to give Sylvanus a sort of half smile before getting up and going, "Alright, I'm tired of this." And he will cast a guiding bolt at the 3rd level. And it's a natural 20!
Alright, so that's going to be 66 max. And you roll the damage again.
Well, that's going to be a 26 and 36.
You stand up. You reach out, and you release this massive radiant blast, and it collides into the side of this thing. It cries out in pain, and you see this radiant energy glowing off of it. Yeah, you got it good.
You know, Calais is feeling a little bit brave right now and will step forward past the dead body of the other behir that's a little in front of them.
Okay. As you do that, Sylvanus, you look over, and Zarin is looking at you wide-eyed, pointing at Calais, and going, Does this happen often?
Oh, Sylvanus grins excitedly and goes, the stage is going to love that.
Yeah, Sylvanus, you hear a standing ovation in the background. Snowy, it's your turn. The thing that you saw eat your guide just got its ass blasted by Calais. What's your move?
Damn. Besides just standing there in awe of Calais's magnificence, I think Snowy is just going to try and shoot it again. She'd like to get our guide out of there as soon as they can. That's gonna be 18 damage.
Snowy, you see this thing radiating, and you just take your bow, and you feel it auto-train on its head, and you let it fly, and sink an arrow into its jaw.
Still have my extra attack. That's 19. And I roll 15 damage.
Alright, it takes the damage.
Snowy's good here.
And now it's the behir's turn. It's going to snap its jaws, and you see sparks coming between its teeth, and it's scanning over all of you. It raises its head and lowers it down, nearly slamming to the ground, releasing a beam of lightning. It's gotta return the favor, Calais. So you and Zarin need to make dexterity saving throws.
I rolled a 13.
That's not enough! Calais, I know what your hit points are at. Those really matter. You're unconscious. Zarin also gets the full force of this thing, and you can see him slam into the rock behind him. He grimaces, but you also see some of that electricity arc around his arm. You see his tattoo light up. He's still conscious and standing and breathing heavily as the lightning arcs off of him. Finch, it's your turn. But before you go, the behir moves towards you all once again.
At first, Finch is confused by the magical light show and watches in awe before she sees Calais go down. He will disengage and run over to Calais, quickly sliding to their knees and taking out a potion. As he cradles Clay's head to administer the potion, Finch quickly looks at Sylvanus and says, "Do that fireworks blasting thing again, please." And then Calais is going to get 8 points of healing.
I think what this looks like is like Calais just hits the snow and then loses consciousness, but it's almost as if no time passes as he regains it, and like now he's suddenly being fed this potion, and he's still twitching from the residual electricity running through his body. He looks up at Finch and goes, "Oh, hi Finch."
Finch smiles. "Hi, let's not do that again."
It's Podloch's turn. What's he gonna do? The little guy. He's gonna take out a short bow, and he's gonna miss again. Today's just not his day. It's Zaren's turn, and Zaren sort of cracks his neck, says, "Oh, gods, never getting used to it." And you see him just toss his sword down, his arm still glowing brightly, and he says, "Shit," as he walks over, gets in front of you, Finch. And as he's walking towards you, you see that his eyes have clouded over and have gotten stormy with this blue, cloudy energy. And he's just holding his stance. Sylvanus, it's your turn.
Cool, let's do it. 2 for 2, baby. Here I go with an Eldritch Blast. That's a 19 and a 23 for a total of 21 damage.
You blast this thing, and it doesn't look good, but it's still up.
Gods, can this thing just die?
Calais, you're conscious.
Yeah, Calais just sits up and goes, "Ugh, this can't keep happening."
That's what I'm hoping for.
He shakes his head at that and says, "Well, it's still alive, so... And he gets up and hurls another guiding bolt at this behir. That's gonna be a smooth 22 to attack.
Finch pushes herself up and goes, "Okay, Calais is up." And then, as soon as they turn around to face the behir, he sees another light beam shooting past them and jumps in response.
That's gonna be 14 points of damage.
It's looking worse for wear.
Alright, I'm going to bonus action, take a potion of healing. That's gonna be 9 points of healing.
Snowy. The behir is looking less like an apex predator and a little bit more like a cornered creature that needs to figure out something to do.
Snowy is going to use Dissonant Whispers at the 2nd level. The spell DC is going to be 15 from the earworm she has.
Okay. That's a wisdom saving throw. If it fails, roll your damage. It fails, roll your damage.
And that is 16 damage. And I'm hoping it'll move away from me.
You start to see blood trickling from its eyes and ear holes, moving around in pain, writhing. And it definitely wants to move as far away from you as possible.
Are you doing anything else?
If it's moving away, I think Snowy's gonna stay put where they are.
Y'all got so lucky. Alright, it is gonna move away from you.
It must immediately use its reaction if available to move as far as its speed allows away from you.
If that is the case.
Bitch! No, wait!
It
Right,
fucking
right.
runs. It's off
That's
the
fair.
map.
That's fair.
Uh-oh.
Hey, we'll take it.
It's
We'll
gone.
take it.
Oh, that has our guide in it.
It was terrified. It was getting beat and shit. It just starts running, and then it's its turn afterwards. So it uses all of its actions to dash and just escape.
Okay.
That dude is
Oh no.
So I think when Snowy does this, she has this expression that's victorious. Like, yeah, I fucking did that. Yeah, you lost, bitch. And then when the behir starts to run, she's like, wait, oh, wait, hold on, wait, as it runs away.
Yeah, it's moved 150 feet away.
What if what if it's 150? I can run 30 feet and I can make it because it's 120, isn't it?
All right. If you're still doing this, then you have to stay in initiative order. Finch, what are you doing?
Finch is going to sigh and shrug and turn around to Calais and go, "Are you okay?" Finch isn't risking his ass for McMuffin.
Calais is gonna turn to Finch and go, well, I've certainly had better days.
Podloach doesn't know what to do either. He's just going to hop up and see where everyone is. You see Zarin make a long, arduous sigh, and the lightning arcing off of his tattoos and arms just shoot off and collide into the rocks opposite you. He just slumps his shoulders. Gosh damn it. And Sylvanus, it's your turn.
Let's fucking go. Right. Sylvanus is gonna fucking lock eyes on its direction and fucking just start running like an absolute animal. I'm going to run my full movement and in its direction, which should be 30 feet, which should put me within range to shoot it with Eldritch Blast, right?
Yes, it would. It would put you right just in range. If
Hell yeah.
fucking go for it.
This is more insane than Finch running through the two monsters drinking a potion. We just look over and Sylvanus lives.
Yes. 24 to hit, and then dirty 20 to hit.
How do you do this? How do you kill this thing?
Okay, he can't technically do this because it would be casting a spell, but flavor-wise, can I have him, fucking sprint into Misty Step and then fucking come out of it and just double open palm blast this thing with, golden fucking fireworks like I want?
Yeah.
Fist!
You
Killed him! I killed Calais. He looks rabid.
Yeah, you just you all watch as Sylvanus just fucking snaps out of thin air and then just reappears and just hurls these golden energy beams. And you could barely see this thing at this point. And it's just it's trying to clamber over some rocks to get into like this cliff face, and it just lands into its back, and it just falls backwards, crashes into the snow, and stops moving.
He's like standing there, like heaving, and because he ran so fast, and then he turns around and looks at everybody and goes, I got it!
Sylvanus, isn't our guide in there?
Oh, fuck. It open. Before you said that, and before Sylvanus knew that, he was like bowing to the empty snow, like, I hope that was super entertaining, the stage, because that was fucking...
Oh, you're bowing? Yeah. You hear people just like cheering and like whistling and like just
he's like
applause.
Panting and heaving, but he's like, thank you, and then you say the guy's in there, and he goes, fuck.
You realize that, and then the applause just turns into a collective gasp.
Oh gosh. Can we hear that, or is it just Sylvanus hearing these things?
You cannot hear that.
Okay, great. So we see Sylvanus just did all that. He goes, ha 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 ha, thank you, ha ha. And it goes, oh fuck. Just for context.
Yeah.
Snowy is actually going to make their way over to the behir and see if they can get McGuffrey. See if they can get McGuffrey out of there. She feels super guilty that she almost lost the guide, even though he might be dead.
If you guys want to, you can make it over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, this thing is dead on its back.
Okay.
Should we just stab right through the midsection, or the...
Maybe start from the throat first? Because I don't want to accidentally stab our guide if he is alive. Snowy kind of pats loudly on the tummy and goes, "You good in there?"
I actually want to go check in on Zarin to make sure he isn't turning into a giant werewolf.
Oh, yeah, you would have noticed, at least from the amount of glances that you can get whenever you guys were sort of running back and forth between this battle, he didn't seem to start to shift or anything.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, Finch will probably just, like, give him a look and just, like, a thumbs up, like, questioningly.
Yeah, he's just breathing heavy and just, why? I mean, I should have expected this, but I guess I just wasn't ready.
I don't fucking know. We're never ready for whatever the fuck is going to happen next.
It's nature. It's been a while since I've been out in the wilds.
Yes, well, everything's a new adventure. Okay?
Ugh.
Let's go see if McMuffin's alive.
Flintfoot?
I forgot, yes.
Oh no. You guys make your way over there. So what are you all attempting to do exactly?
Well, I mean, I assume we are going to try to, like, carve it open, starting at the throat, to see if we can find him.
You realize very quickly as you cut into this thing's hide, the skin itself is almost half a foot thick. It takes a lot of effort and time, but you're able to get to this thing's stomach lining. And when you do, its organs just spill out. It's steaming in the snow. Just a hot, gross organ mess in the cold mountain air. You're looking at the goop, and you can see a mostly dwarven figure kind of eroded and melted away.
Oh. Ugh. Well, we definitely lost our guide.
Do we leave him here or do we bury him?
I would like to at least send him off in a nice way. I can say a few words. I don't know much about who this man was, Mr. Flintfoot McGuffrey, but may his soul rest easy. And then Calais kind of peers at the body and then goes, actually, he's covered in very toxic stomach acid, so I'd recommend we don't touch his corpse at all, if we're going to try and bury him.
Mr. McGuffrey, you were a very honest person, and I believe you would have done your best to help us through the mountain. I'm sorry you did not get to spend that money on booze. You all can keep talking, but Finch will just sort of like start kicking some snow, at least like on top of
Yeah,
it.
no.
I don't want to sound really horrible. Did he have any of our money in his pocket?
Oh, yes.
He did, but because they just said we shouldn't go to the toxic
It's very,
sludge.
very toxic.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't gonna get in there. Just unfortunate.
So you guys didn't even set up camp. You were traveling when this happened. He got eaten with all of his shit.
How are any of us going to find our way to Cliffscrape now that we lost our guide?
Snowy kind of looks around, looks up at the sky, kind of does calculations, and goes, I think I know, or I could attempt to do it. I mean, this kind of setting is kind of my expertise. Perhaps I could get us at least off of this mountain.
Snowy, Flintfoot kind of gave you like a rundown of like kind of what the route was. So while you've never traversed it, you kind of know like where to go if you can figure out how to get there. Basically, you guys were getting close to, how the fuck do I pronounce that? Noldrunthron, and then past that is the Fist of Onatar, and then Cliffscrape was just a couple of days past that. And you would have overheard him talk about it. If you camp for the night and then you travel the next day, you'll be in Noldrunthron, which you overheard him say that it was like sort of like an ancient dwarven city that's no longer occupied. You know about this place, Finch. You're fairly well traveled. You know that this is a very, very old dwarven city. Dwarves have been around for a long fucking time, so a lot of places that they established are very old. But the thing about Noldrunthron is that the dwarven clan that like lived there and built it suddenly vanished. Nobody knows why. And this was years ago, like years and years and years and years. Nobody knows why. Nobody's, as far as you know, has looked into it that much. But you know that there are rumors that the place is haunted, but you don't know if that's just because, oh, these people disappeared a long time ago and it's just like ghost stories. Nobody really has looked into it, really, because it hasn't super affected the world at large. An abandoned dwarven city.
Finch turns around to carve with a dagger into like a stone or something, just like Flintfoot's name, and like R.I.P. the best damn Flintfoot there is. And while they're not good at this at all, and while she's doing that, she'll just start telling them like,
I heard this is like a haunted place. It was abandoned years ago, so we should be careful.
Noldrun hold. Rumors. I hear rumors. Oh, I'm not sure.
You see Kelly kind of bristle at that.
Just be careful, as always.
Yeah.
And make sure to check your surroundings.
I feel like it's a good thing to do in general, but I understand. So.
Well, we haven't been doing a great job, so.
Yeah, no shit.
Right? You commented on it, so I thought I'd bring it up.
I never said we were good at it.
Speaking of keeping an eye out, it is getting rather late, and we should probably return to camp and finish setting it up. And then we should determine the watch order together.
That would be great, yes.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Right. So at this point, Snowy, it would essentially be you taking like a first watch.
Yeah, I was actually gonna
gotcha.
say Snowy was gonna do first watch anyway. I think Snowy is going to use detect thoughts. It can detect creatures within 30 feet of me, even if I can't see them, I think.
You extend sort of like your consciousness outwards. Like you only can sort of sense the presence of the people around you.
Yeah, okay. Snowy's still not super comfortable after that. Constant vigilance and everything. Yeah, she's just gonna continue with first watch.
All right, I'm going to move on unless there's any sort of interaction anyone wants to do.
Yeah, I want Calais and Finch to have a little watch together by the fire, if that is okay.
Go for it.
I think maybe there's an awkward couple of seconds with Finch and Calais sitting next to each other after McMuffin fucking died. And Finch will sort of break the silence and say, well, you come here often? Ooh, the middle of nowhere, wasteland, with giant fucking electric worms?
Oh, I could do with less electric worms. And maybe a little bit less snow. I actually thought I'd be more excited to see snow. Calais is like looking around, playing with a branch they used to kindle the firewood to draw a few lines in the snow, and they sigh. It's been quite the week. I'm confident that Snowy's going to be able to lead us in the right direction, but it sucks that we lost our guide so early into the trip.
Yeah, and I mean, I looked for that person, but look, they looked like they knew what they were doing, but apparently not. And if he died so quickly after that encounter, that's not really my fault.
Calais lets a few more moments pass and says, maybe we shouldn't talk about this right now.
You're right. Calais, I was thinking I am quite cold. Are you cold?
You can see that Calais is shivering despite being pretty close to the fire. I don't know, Finch. It might be a bit brisk out here.
Finch will look Calais up and down with her one eye, very slowly and purposefully, and then they'll go, I heard it's a good survival technique to take off all of your clothes and sleep next to someone, naked. So, if you get tired and cold,
Right.
I'm here.
Oh, Finch. Calais puts down the branch in their hand, and they weren't necessarily facing her before, so they kind of like scoot over to face her. Any excuse to have me shirtless again, huh?
Oh, wow, so bold. Are we taking our clothes off? Is that what's happening right now? And Finch is just like starting to actually take off all of his clothes.
Oh, no, gods, no, Finch.
Okay. Okay.
Please keep your clothes on. I
Alright.
didn't know you were serious. And Calais is panicking. And they move closer in proximity to Finch in an effort to reach over and try to like rebutton up Finch's coat, if that's okay. We're on a watch right now, and all you can think about is taking off our clothes.
Finch gives Calais an amused smirk, and just watches Calais. The flame from the campfire sort of dances in her eye as he stares at Calais. Well, the only thing I came here to watch is you and the fire. So, I'm trying to find a better, less cold ways to take in the view.
And Calais quickly finishes fastening the last button on Finch's clothes and is immediately flustered by Finch's comment. Well, I hope you're enjoying the show.
Oh, you know, it is fun. The way your nose scrunches up whenever I tease you. It's cute.
You don't actually mean that.
Oh, maybe I do.
Well, flattery won't make my clothes come off any faster, that's for sure.
Now look who's thinking about taking off all of their clothes.
Shut up. Oh my gods, do you ever stop talking?
Never. But if you wanted me to, I'm sure you could find a way to keep me quiet.
Oh, I feel so special. And Calais whirls their eyes and crosses their arms, and They look back into the fire as if they're thinking about something, and Calais' expression of contemplation here sort of melts into this possibly unfamiliar, soft expression of which one might think is worry, some sort of concern, but you also know that there's something deeper pooling behind it.
Finch watches Calais, with whatever that is, and their smirk sort of fades. You know, Calais, if it really bothers you, I can stop. I was just trying to lighten the mood, and, well, I would hate to make you uncomfortable.
Calais shakes their head, almost as if he's been awoken out of a trance, and they look at Finch, their eyes wide. Oh, you didn't make me uncomfortable, Finch. The opposite of that, actually.
Oh?
Listen,
Go on.
I know this is your way of trying to cheer me up, and how do I put this? I think I actually quite like it.
Like what?
Don't make me say it.
Say what, Calais? I can't know unless you tell.
I like it when you talk. I like it when you say these things to me. You get on my nerves, but I don't actually mind it. It's oddly comforting.
Oh. I think Finch laughs a bit, genuinely a little surprised at that response, and goes, well, hey, if you wanted my attention, you could have just said that in the first place.
Oh, Finch, when you put it like that, you make it sound like like I'm...
yes?
I thought you were cold, Finch. Or is that not still on your mind?
Oh, well, you know, it seems I found something else to keep me preoccupied. But, yes, it's fucking cold out here. My kind offer still stands.
Well, there's other ways to keep warm out here, and I don't think getting naked is conducive to your goal.
Ah, well, you don't know my... Well, Calais, what are other ways to keep warm then, if we're not going to get naked? Do you want to come closer, or are you just going to sit there and stare at me?
I mean, you wouldn't mind if we huddled for warmth. Coats on.
Finch's one eye blinks slowly and stares at Calais for a solid 2 seconds. Yes, I mean, that's why I brought it up a couple of times. And just opens her arm to sort of gesture that he can come closer.
A small grin starts to form on Calais' face, and they hesitate at first. But then they try to fit themselves into the crook of Finch's arm. And Finch can feel that they are so tense. And they go, Are you warm yet?
In contrast to Calais, okay, so when Calais actually cozies up next to Finch, the first thing that he'll notice is, despite Finch talking so straight-faced and not really showing any expression, she's fucking cold. Like, freezing. And when Calais gets closer, Finch will shove their bodies closer together, despite how rigid Calais is. What? I don't even... What? It's so fucking cold out here. Holy shit. Oh my god, how are you so warm?
Perks of being a demigod?
What? You come with a warm, heated body? Is that really part of being a demigod?
Honestly, Finch, I have no clue. I'm still figuring shit out, you know. Silver flame. Maybe there's like a flame or something in me that keeps me warm.
Sure, okay, well, a bit lit, I guess. And this is nice. But also, I can't see shit, so please do look for the worms. I don't want to fight another one of those.
I will look for worms as long as you keep holding me like this. And Calais sinks into Finch's arms, leaning against her shoulder.
Finch will grip Calais a little bit tighter and go, well, good luck trying to get out of this grip.
And I think the scene will end with them cuddling in front of the darkness of the evening.
With Finch still shivering.
The night passes without any further incident.
There is a thin blanket of snow over the behir corpse next to your camp. As you're all sort of rising, and you're all just sort of like packing up your things, Zarin goes on. Okay, haha. Wow. What the fuck are we gonna do?
Well, Snowy here had a plan, and I think we should follow what she does. She clearly knows what she's doing.
When you say clearly, Snowy like sweats slightly.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't say anything, but she does sweat slightly. She looks around and says, I kind of know the direction where they're going. McGuffin? She goes on and says, he told me a little bit of the direction we had to go and how far it was, just like the little, wanted to know where we were going. I'm pretty good at traversing this kind of terrain, so hopefully we can, I can't fully guarantee we can get there, or if we do get there, it might take a while, but I think I'm probably the best bet to get us off of this mountain.
All right. That's great. Lead the way. You have a lot of bonuses to this. So,
Yes.
This is just gonna be a survival check. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for this check.
23.
A 23. Snowy. You might not have been in this mountain range before, but you're able to find the clearest path that makes the most sense. You can remember enough of McGuffrey's directions to help guide you to specific landmarks, so you travel on good time. The whole day goes without incident, and you're able to settle down and camp for the evening eventually.
Sylvanus.
Oh no, yeah.
As you fall asleep, you find yourself in a familiar raised VIP booth in the stage. In the booth with you is your patron, and also Vivi and Lavula.
Oh, good. Please
the
remind me.
Succubus and the Rakshasa,
Yes.
who you help free from the wayward warlock circus that disappeared into quote-unquote paradise before you guys left. And the stage leans down to you and says, "We just got finished watching your performance from the other day. That was exhilarating."
Which one? The one where I died a couple times? Or?
Well, you didn't die. You just, you just had a brush with death.
Yes.
But the crowd was going wild. I'm sure you can hear. It was electrifying.
Oh. He kind of laughs and grimaces and goes, "Well, yes. Well, I thought you might have liked it. It felt kind of cool. I think it was some of my best work." He kind of straightens his collar.
And you hear from the side of the stage, you go, "I like the part where you started blasting and then you just kept doing it. Like you probably should have stopped, but you did it anyway."
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, listen, it almost killed me. So I thought I might as well finish it off.
Succubus turns to you and says, "That's understandable. Speaking of finishing off, we're actually seeing how our little vacation to paradise was, if you wanted to know." And
sure.
You look on the stage and it is just like pretty blatantly like an orgy. with these like puppets, these like life-size like puppets, all different sorts of people, just in this sort of thing. And Vivi goes, that place is insane. I watched Luava suck the skin off of someone's dick and then like fucking use it as a balloon. It was
that sounds his face is completely just bright blue. He like completely turns around to not face the performance and then it was, that sounds lovely. I hope that was pleasant, fun.
If you ever want to visit.
Well, as tempting as that is, how did you describe it? Like a balloon? I don't know if that sounds particularly fun for me, but I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure other.
It's very anything goes. There's very few rules. You know, as long as you just don't do anything that the queen doesn't like, you're fine.
I'll let you know. Ha! He like does a finger gun. I'll let you know if I ever. I'm so busy right now. But he like clicks his claws together. You know, if I ever have the time. He like looks at the stage like help me.
The stage is just sort of like is now just fully focused on this just like scene that is playing out down below them. As you are trying to like figure out where to like look and not be embarrassed, you hear Vivi go, "You know, I don't really remember that being there during that. Was I just too distracted? I was like definitely like on another planet because while this was happening, but like," and you look over, you see on the stage, hanging from wires, a familiar wooden crafted eye.
Why is that there? He kind of points at it, but he's stammering, and he looks back up at the stage like, why is that there?
I'm not sure. I mean, you can see I was busy at the time. I don't, maybe there was...
And you see another one lower itself down.
All of his, I don't know, playful embarrassment is gone, and he just looks really afraid. He goes, can we take them down? I don't, can we get rid of it? I don't know how this works.
The stage stands from their seat, and as they do, you see their forms sort of unravel and flow as like just like rippling velvet curtain reform on the stage, and the sort of like automated like mannequin puppet things sort of depart as they sort of look up at these eyes. You know, admission is not free here. And the wires holding the eyes snap, and they clatter to the ground. And on that impact, you wake up.
Cool. That's great. That's great news. That's cool. He loves that. Is it the morning time, or am I?
It is.
It is the morning time. That means it's time for another survival check from your new guide.
26.
Easy. You just, again, you are making incredible headway traversing the mountains. Towards the middle of the afternoon, you come across what you can guess is the abandoned ancient city of Noldenthron.
Snowy, like, is Snowy in front of the group? I assume, because they're leading, right? She tries to, like, turn her back slightly to everyone and kind of, like, wipes their brow, like, oh, thank God, we made it.
Snowy, if nothing else, this confirms that you know where you're going.
She's like, oh man, I'm glad I had it in me. She does jazz hands at it. And what's it called? Nordrholm? It's canon. She can't say it. We've made it to Nordrholm.
Glad we made it. You said it was haunted here, right? And Calais is, like, noticeably at the back.
Zarin sort of was just like, a phobia of spirits.
I wouldn't say I have a fear of spirits as a whole. I summon spirits. I work with them, though they're usually of the celestial type. Calais, like, sweating a little bit, and he goes, oh, well, I mean, I guess maybe you could categorize it as being afraid of some things that are unknown.
This means you're alive.
If any ghosts show up, we'll stand in front of you.
I mean, also, you could probably explode them. You shot. I don't understand. Gestures at your hands.
It's not really what I can see in front of me. It's what I can't see that terrifies me. I mean, I suppose we'll be okay if we stick together, right?
Snowy reaches and pats Calais' arm. And while they're doing this, I would like to use primeval awareness.
Mm-hmm.
It can't detect spirits, but it sure can see other things. I want to use a spell slot to use that, just to see if, the surrounding area has any kind of, like, enemies like that.
You're in your favorite terrain, so you would actually know if anything was within 6 miles of you.
Oh, shit.
If you wanted to use it while you're walking through it, you can. Or you can use it right now, like, before you get there.
Sometimes I just get so confused with ranger stuff. I'm like, what cannon can I not do without doing something?
Yep.
While we do that,
go
Finch
ahead.
is just gonna go to one side of Calais, assuming that Sylvanus is on the other side, and then look back towards Podloach and be like, "You have to watch the back."
Guard the back.
Yeah, Podloach is on the lookout.
Yeah, essentially, Joey, if you use this, you will be able to detect any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead within 6 miles of where you are.
Undead? Yeah, perfect.
It's closer than 6 miles, right?
You can walk for like 15 minutes, and then you'll be traversing through this abandoned ruined city.
Okay, yeah. I would like to use it now, please.
As you're approaching, you'll notice the city of Noldrendrun. It is very similar to the capital in the sense that it has unique architecture. You can probably identify that this is dwarven make. And while it's not as fancy as Corona Peak, every building here is carved from stone. It is old, it is weathered, and it is crumbling. As you're walking towards it, Snowy, you get a ping. And you get another ping. And another one. And another one.
Uh-oh.
Here's the thing, Snowy. You're getting these pings from within the ruined city, right? But then, since you can feel this for 6 miles, you get this sinking feeling falling into the pit of your stomach. And you follow those pings underneath you. Deep, deep underneath you. And there is an insurmountable number of aberrations under this mountain.
Oh my god. Snowy, holds out her arm, and just freezes. She doesn't move. And as she's feeling all of these pings coming from beneath the ground, you can start to see her tail start to, bristle up, in alarm. She's just very alarmed. She knows it's, many, many miles beneath them, but she's like, oh, this is very alarming, not good. So she turns around to everyone, or, looks over her shoulder, and she just says, I don't know how many are down there, but there are a lot of, aberrations down there. I can sense stuff down there, kind of freaking me out.
And Sylvanus put 2 and 2 together and assume that, 1, that's probably where all of those dwarves were getting their weird shit from, because they were mining, and 2, that might be why his dreams were a little funky last night.
Finch's eye moves to look past Calais to glance at Sylvanus.
He looks like he's gonna throw up.
I'll look back to Snowy as probably the least freaked out person, I guess. I don't know what Zaren's doing, but should we go around? Is that something we can do?
Snowy looks at Finch and says, "There seems to be some other things around the city. I don't think we can go around it. I think the safest bet we can do is to lay low as we go through, really try to be as quiet as we can. I don't feel comfortable staying the night here, if possible."
Okay, we can do this. We can do this, right? And Calais starts to look a little bit more panicked because they don't know what the hell aberrations are, and they also don't know what this means for Sylvanus.
Let's stay close to each other, and let's be quiet. Right, Snowy?
If you just trying to be cautious while walking through the city and go undetected, that is going to be a group stealth check.
Okay.
Podloach doesn't have to roll because he's on Finch's back, but Zaren will have to roll.
Calais is going to cast guidance on himself because he's just so freaked out. That's an 18.
Dang, Snowy, come on.
Okay, you didn't do worse than me, Snowy.
Oh, shit, Sylvanus.
23 in total for Calais.
I got a 25.
Overall, that's a pretty good group roll. As you guys very cautiously move throughout the city, looking around the corners, checking shadows, trying to move as quietly and quickly as possible. It looks like a typical city. Though comparatively, you've gotten used to Sharn with its infused magical arcane technology. And even in the Great Craig, they have some more advanced architecture than what you're seeing here in this abandoned city. Everything around you is definitely from an older time. And as you're moving carefully through the empty streets of Nolden Throne, can I get someone to make a perception check?
Perception. 21.
Calais, as you're traversing through this city, you can see the snow-covered stone-tiled floors with thick winter shrubbery growing around it. You can see stone buildings that are largely crumbled, pillars toppled over each other, and, well, you've gotten used to hearing the sound of your own footsteps as you're walking, trying to minimize the crunch of the snow underneath your feet. But somewhere ahead of you, further into the city, you hear the faintest sound of steps, as if someone is ascending from somewhere. And then it quiets down. What do you do?
Is Finch still next to Calais?
Oh, yeah. He hasn't left.
Okay, so Calais sort of leans into Finch, but also whispers as lowly as possible. I heard somebody walking up ahead.
Oh, how far up ahead?
I'm not sure. It sounded like someone was stepping up some sort of stairs, but there's none that I can see, so...
Finch is going to look up and around and then loop their hand through Calais' arm. Will you guide me? I'm going to send Laszlo to look.
Sure. And Calais will loop their arm into Finch's.
Okay. Finch will part her hair to the side so that Laszlo, his gargoyle familiar, can take off.
Yeah, sure. Laszlo does a little cat stretch, shakes a little, and then flies off. So, the 19. Laszlo sort of does a small circle around this area of the city, and you can see that at first there's not much around where you're located, but as Laszlo swings back around towards the back end of the buildings ahead that are worse for wear, you notice what appears to be the half-preserved remains of an archway on top of these stairs that descend into the ground. And the first thing you see are these magenta, fleshy creatures. These relatively short, vaguely humanoid beings with claws and tentacles climbing up these stairs and beginning to spread out into the city. And they look like they're headed for your direction. As they move away, you also see a different figure ascending from the stairs. A dwarf. A dwarf that is wearing this familiar chitinous armor with connecting sinew. They have a shield with teeth and eyes protruding from them at the hip, and a whip that they're wielding in their hands that's moving around, jerking and twitching like a tentacle. And you see an orb floating by their shoulder. Finch, as you were describing this, you catch yourself short, because within the orb, you see, unfolding, an eye open up within it, looking directly at your familiar.
Yeah, I think while Finch is describing things, they'll stop for a second and go, "Listen, I want to say things in a way that is comforting, but I can't. There's an eyeball, I'm sorry, Sylvanus, in an orb. And there are a bunch of things coming our way. I don't know if we can hide, but maybe we can try. But also maybe we can get ready for whatever this shit is."
Well, it seems like there's no other choice but to fight.
Like a Finch makes a face, still staring back at the eyeball through Laszlo's eyes, and goes, "Are you sure we can't hide?"
I mean, we could hide, but I'm not sure how much help that would be since, I mean, you told Sylvanus that there was an eyeball? And then Calais looks towards Sylvanus and goes, "Do you think this has anything to do with your patron?"
As you are all deliberating on what to do, you begin to hear movements rustling all around you within the ruins. And from where you are, you see at the end of the street that the dwarf is walking into your sight. And the orb floating at its shoulder turns towards you. And you all hear this voice begin to speak. You can all hear it, but you don't know where it's coming from. It's sourceless. And it's hard to determine if it's in your head or not. And in the stone ruins, you hear this voice echoing all around you.
"You tried to hide from me. I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. That's the saying, right?"
Thank you so much for listening to Capricious Provenance. If you like what you heard, don't forget to rate our podcast and follow our social media. If you happen to miss any details, we have episode recaps available on our website. This episode, I would like to shout out one of our YouTube listeners, Curvy Critter Lukes. Curvy Critter Lukes said, "This is phenomenal. The storytelling is so fun. I adore these characters so much. We're really glad you love these characters as much as we do. And if any other listener writes a review for us on any social media platform, we will happily read it out loud at the end of our episodes. See you next time, dear listener."